Okay, so the second question in the Nazi Germany paper is what we call the key features question, where you have to describe 3 things that happened. And in this instance, it's asking us to describe 3 policies of the Nazi government towards the young in the years 1933 to 1939. So in order to get top marks here, which would be 6 out of 6, the examiner is looking for you to make 3 points and to add some factual information to develop that point. And if you do that, and you have that done 3 times, you should get 6 out of 6. So the first thing we are going to do is to create our 3 points. And hopefully that will work. Okay, so we might say that firstly, one policy of the Nazis towards the young was to do with the curriculum. We might then add another point. So in addition to this, the Nazis had particular policies which affected young boys. And then we might have, finally, it's important to look at the types of words that I'm using as well to show my thinking. Finally, there were also policies that affected young girls. Okay, so there I have my 3 points. At the moment, that would get me 3 out of 6, but what the examiner is looking for is a little bit of factual development to really describe these 3 things that happened. Okay, so now we're going to think about the facts that we can include. I'm just going to change the colour here so that you can see. So, firstly, one policy of the Nazis towards the young was to do with the curriculum. And we might say that subjects like history and mathematics became vehicles for Nazi political views, whereas subjects like what have we got here? Domestic science, cookery and needlework became popular for girls. Okay, so that's our first point developed. We now need to add some factual detail for our second point, which is relating to Nazi policies that affected young boys. So we might say something like, for example, boys from the age of 6 were made to join the pimp, which were the little fellows, and did activities such as camping and hiking. From the age of 14, they could join the Hitler Jungvolk, which was the Hitler Youth. Okay, so for our last point, which is relating to policies that affected girls, finally there were also policies that affected young girls. We can say, for example, again, that's fine, groups like the League of German Maidens, focused on training for health and motherhood. Girls were kept separate to boys. for most of the time. Now you can see here that we have 3 points, each developed with relevant factual material, and if you did that in the exam, that would get you 6 out of 6. Remember, for this question you shouldn't be writing for any longer than 6 minutes. 10 minutes would be the absolute maximum.